How's everybody? Okay. Some of us experience the suffering of not eating dinner. I mean, monks and nuns aren't even really supposed to eat dinner, but sometimes we do. A little energy. I was thinking on another note, some of you are familiar with Venerable Rabina, who is a very dear friend of mine, Australian nun, a bit older than me, very feisty personality. And she was late once for a session at a center I was running. And the Gompa was full of people, and she raced in from one of the doors and plunked herself down, and in her kind of vintage way said, and it was in the middle of a Lam-Rim retreat, and then all of a sudden she just shouted at everybody, you know, "You're not dead yet, so be happy." There's a death meditation for you. Okay? Everyone has their own style. And then one thing I was going to mention, funny story after I got ordained, because I know some people are coming in. So this Lama, again, Rinpa Rinpoche, I was very close with. He lived a time in California, in Dharamsala, India. And I got ordained in California, and I flew back to the East Coast to see my parents in Philadelphia for the first time some years ago. So he was then having medical treatment and was living in upstate New York at the time for quite a while. At Richard Gere's house. So I called him because I wanted to go see Rinpoche, and the attendant said, "Please come up and maybe come up with your family, and we'll have lunch and you can spend the afternoon." And I was very excited to see this Lama as a nun, and so I didn't think Richard Gere would be there, and I wasn't all that focused on that. But so I asked my parents, "Would you want to drive up for the day?" And my father's always ready to go, you know, no problem. And my mother was always a little bit more cautious. This was about 15 years ago. And so I mentioned, and then she said, "Well, you know, what are they gonna do with us?" Like she, you know, always was afraid of cults, and you know, she'd met him before, and she had met many of my teachers and been to the centers, and she loved it, but she just was always like, you know, we're gonna be there the whole day with like, what is happening? And then I knew how to get her. My father's ready to go, and I said, "He's staying at Richard Gere's house." She looks at my father and she said, "We're going." That's the end of that. Thank you. I think we're all here now. One brief thing before we're going to do some more Shine concentration is just to mention on retreat, a very important time is the break times on retreat. And I'm sorry, I meant to mention that before the last break. We are all settled into our sessions, and we're very clear in a sense with the sessions, want to do those, and then the breaks come and the mind just totally lapses. And you find yourself picking up old habits or launching into certain things and checking your phone, you know, whatever. But just more the habits in the mind, more like that. So the break times are very important, and they're even written up in some of the Lam-Rim books about what to do in between meditation sessions. Now, if you're in your normal life, you go to work and you do your things, but again, I mentioned the yogi-yogini mind, mindfulness, that, you know, because the meditation practice is there consistently, maybe initially you're not getting it there every day, but maybe it's a few times a week, and then it extends, becomes every day, so that you're bringing that mind into whatever situation is happening. And some of you I've spoken to today or in the past say that you notice after a year, right? You notice the mind's different, right? You notice things are different. You can see it changes. And it's a gradual change. It's a process. So Americans, I know we're not all Americans here, but Americans want it immediately. And it's not, this is not that path. If you need that, find another path, really, because it's just not like that. So, but it does shift things. So when you're in a retreat, those sessions, the in-between time, the breaks, are very important just to practice mindfulness, to watch the mind when you leave the room. Don't let the delusions just mow over you again and come in and I want food and I want this and I'm going to, and just back. And it's very hard because those patterns, those habitual tendencies are right there. So you try your best like that. Sometimes it's helpful to read Dharma books and breaks. Journaling can be okay. Some retreats are very strict. No journaling, no reading. Some of the Vipassana retreats that go on for 9 or 10 days, you are just alternating periods, 40, 45-minute periods of sitting and walking, sitting and walking, sitting and walking. No other distractions. And then you see what your mind's made of, right? But each thing has its own effectiveness, I think. So, okay, so we're going to try some more concentration. And I would say keep the same object you used in the last session for now. If you want to change tomorrow morning, one of our first sessions will be Shine. If you want to change, then think about tonight what you'd like to use tomorrow. Try a different object. But for today, sometimes it's good to try again and again, and you try at different times of the day. Because you find different sessions, different times of the day work better for your mind. So when you have more time, you can find 11 o'clock in the morning might work well for you. And you start to get used to, when you're actually on a longer retreat, you really get to know the times of the day that work better. And you can actually schedule your solitary retreat sessions according to what times work for you. Okay, the standard is 4 sessions a day that would start at between often 4 to 6 in the morning, but it varies. Some people start at 2 or 3 in the morning, some people 4 or 5 or 6, like that. And then some people do shorter sessions, because that's their capacity and how much focus they can keep, and the sessions are nice and bright. And you want to also have sessions, whether in a daily practice or in a retreat, that you leave the session at a time when you're feeling buoyant by the meditation, not exhausted and hating your cushion. So you don't want to get to the point where you're looking at the cushion in the meditation seat with aversion, which happens. You want to be like, oh, I'm ready to go back at the next session. That. So again, practical and skillful means. Okay, so keep your same object. Just take a moment to find that comfortable place for the body. We have about 25 minutes. Lightly close your eyes and also take a moment to reestablish a positive motivation. Make your determination for this next period, or for the next 20 to 25 minutes. I am going to keep my mind focused on this object, focused on this object of meditation, without my mind wandering. And please begin whenever you can. Vajrasattva practice. So and one thing I wanted to say, one more thing about Shine, I forgot to mention, it's your object of meditation is a mental object. So you're not doing it with your eyes open, looking at a picture of the Buddha. You can look at a picture or look at an image or whatever, close your eyes, and then you bring the image to mind. Try to clarify as much as you can. So initially, if you choose an object like the image of a Buddha, you might start with the eyes, then the face, slowly bring the details a little bit more into focus. Initially, it will be hard to do that. So you get an idea that the body's there, and you're still keeping your mind on the object. Okay, so the mind can do two different things, we know at the same time. So one part of the mind is holding the object, keeping the focus on the object. The other part of the mind is checking, okay, how the object is coming into focus. So you're working on sharpening the intensity of the visualization. So one part holding the mind there, the other part bringing the details more clearly into focus. And it takes time initially for us to get used to that. So it's good to start with something simple, some simple image. One time, a long time ago, I used to use an apple, because I was very familiar with an apple, easy to visualize. The reason some of us meditate on the image of a Buddha or a deity is it's uplifting for the mind. It leaves a virtuous imprint on the mind, like that. So again, you're working with those two things. And then there's 9 stages of Shine to attain calm abiding. Very flexible space of mind. You are clairvoyant, and you can hold your concentration on one object, a very elaborate object, for 4 hours unwaveringly. Okay? But you build up to that. Okay? If you have the right conditions, and I made a mistake earlier, I said the 3 higher trainings, and I started with renunciation. That was a mistake. The 3 higher trainings start with morality, or good ethics. That's the first training. Then concentration, and then wisdom. Okay. There's other things, the 3 principal aspects of the path. So I know there's a lot of 3s and 6s of this and 7, you know. But the 3 trainings, 3 higher trainings, morality, concentration, wisdom, it makes sense, okay? In order to have a direct perception of emptiness, you need to have Shine, because you need to have meditative absorption in order to penetrate the truth, to have a direct perception of the truth, okay? In order to develop that level of meditative absorption and develop Shine, right, you need to have good morality, because if you don't, your mind's distracted. Oh, I told somebody that lie. Oh, I didn't really do that. I cheated somebody about that. Oh, I was gossiping about her, you know. The mind is all over the place. In addition, karmically, internally, in a sense, in your karmic seeds, pure morality creates other obstacles that aren't as blatant as the distracted mind. Okay, so those 3 fit well together, and if you can maintain in your life by keeping yourself away from the 10 non-virtuous actions, which makes sense, things we do with our body, speech, and mind. We avoid killing, stealing, sexual misconduct with our body. We avoid lying, divisive speech, harsh speech, and gossip with our speech, with our mouths. And we avoid having a greedy mind, having a mind that wishes ill on others, and holding wrong views. Those are 3 situations we avoid with our mind, like our own little 10 commandments. So if you can cultivate the virtues, good ethical conduct, and most of you know what that is, right? That lays a foundation for you to develop better concentration, karmically. And then the better concentration you can use to meditate on emptiness. Like that. So again, you're working the 9 levels of Shine, and then there's obstacles in developing Shine. And you can read all about this. It's in any Lam-Rim book. It's very clearly, those teachings are very easy to understand. So you'll have mental distraction. That's also called excitement. And the mind goes off after an object of desire. Could be a person, could be a pizza, okay? Seriously, I had that in retreat once. It was very distracting. Because I was in a place that wasn't even remotely near pizza, ever. It was potatoes and potatoes and potatoes. And if you have a distraction like that in a retreat, and it was about a week like this, it was very distracting actually, and there's many obstacles that come up in meditation. So I got so frustrated at one point, I decided I would have a meditation and eat the pizza. Like just, lavish in it then, if you can't. So I just sat down and really, just in my mind in my seat, and just imagine having the pizza. And I got through a couple pieces and then it dissolved, then it was gone. I just needed to kind of indulge in the... That was at Laudo. It's a place near Mount Everest where I do a lot of retreat, and they're limited in food and pizza. But another distraction for Shine is dullness. Okay, so you've got the mind flitting, and then you have the mind sleeping. And there's both subtle and gross of both of these obstacles. Subtle and gross excitement, subtle and gross dullness. Okay? So the gross ones were obvious, you're falling asleep in a meditation, obvious. The subtle laxity, they'll call it, and subtle excitement, they're a little bit harder to see. So you might not have the pizza, but you've got kind of subtle remnants of fidgeting and distraction that come up with excitement. And then the same with laxity, where the mind is dull, and you've got like a subtle thing where you're meditating, you're okay, but you're in a dull space in it. It's not really happening well. So you learn through meditating a lot when your mind's falling into those. And then you have antidotes to wake yourself up. If it's dullness, sometimes it could be getting yourself up off the seat, walking around the house, going outside, getting fresh air, splashing cold water on your face, visualizing a bright light over your head. These are practical things, right? Yeah. You can't interrupt in a group retreat, suddenly leave in the middle of something, but sometimes if you go to the bathroom, like we're not doing such a strict retreat. For excitement, you can meditate on death. That brings the mind down a little bit. You're excited, flying around, I'm eating pizza, I could die now, pizza's not that important. But seriously, it'll anchor, really sobers the mind up. So again, and this is through getting to know your mind, you'll know what to apply. Sometimes a distraction is over-application of an antidote that you don't need. You're fine, but you start, oh, maybe I should, and that's also a distraction. That's also an obstacle. So you can read the different levels of Shine, and initially the mind is barely on the object, and then you're on a little bit longer, second stage. Third stage, you're on a little bit longer, less off the object. The fourth stage, you're noticing that you're on it, and there's a little bit of a gap, you're on it, a little bit of a gap, and you start patching the gaps with concentration. It starts like that. Okay, I'm going to do some Vajrasattva practice to purify. And so just sit comfortably first, and I'll tell you when we get to a page number, like that. So also doing this with the 4 opponent powers. Take a moment to recall right now. Could be something you did today. And and sorry, I forgot to announce this, the people at lunch that had the gluten-free bread that were on precepts, there were eggs in the bread. Sorry to break it to you. So do take a little time to get the Gold Prayer Book, and you can just recite that mantra from the precepts this morning, and just do that 21 times too, with the intent to purify that if you ate the eggs. You know, you didn't do it intentionally, but sometimes that can be helpful. So take a moment now to recall an activity you may have done today, or something more recent if possible that you regret. Or you can recall some major negativity you've done in the past you'd like to focus on right now. As much as you can, generate a very strong regret for your activity. And visualize Vajrasattva now over top your crown, this radiant crystal being, about 6 inches in height, facing the same direction as you, seated in the Vajra position. He's draped in beautiful scarves, adorned with many jewels, peaceful expression on his face. He's just here to help us do this purification. At his tiny heart is a moon disk lying flat. In the center of the moon is his seed syllable, a white hung, H-U-M or H-U-N-G, standing upright. And around the edge of the moon disk is his 100-syllable mantra, like a strand of radiant pearls, standing clockwise. As much as you can, imagine everything is in the nature of light. So feel as if he's really there. Think about your normal coping mechanisms to deal with problems, and particularly such as the activity you're focused on that you did. Could Vajrasattva be a better source of protection for you from more suffering? Someone worthy to take refuge in to help us? On page 9, we'll recite this refuge, a second opponent power, reliance or refuge. I forever take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I take refuge in all the 3 vehicles, in the Dakas and Dakinis, a secret mantra yoga, in the heroes and heroines, the gods and goddesses, and in the bodhisattvas of the 10 bhumis. But most of all, I take refuge in my holy Guru forever. The 3 vehicles are the Hinayana, the Mahayana, and the Vajrayana. So the Hinayana, literally lesser vehicle, I don't really like the term lesser, individual vehicle you're trying to reach nirvana or liberation, a permanent cessation of all of your suffering. Mahayana, like Tibetan Buddhism, greater vehicle. I prefer universal vehicle. You're trying to reach nirvana, liberation, and end of all your suffering. Continue on a path to full awakening, full enlightenment. Then you're unlimited and benefiting all other beings. Okay? It doesn't mean that Hinayanas don't want to help others. Formidable teacher in that tradition, Ajahn Chah, incredible Thai master from the Thai forest tradition, amazing, amazing being. Okay? Mahayana tradition, getting enlightened to benefit others. Vajrayana is the tantric path, quickest path to enlightenment if you keep your vows well and practice well. Okay. Second recitation. I forever take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I take refuge in all the three vehicles, in the Dakas and Dakinis, the secret mantra yoga, in the heroes and heroines, the gods and goddesses, and in the bodhisattvas of the 10 bhumis, but most of all, I take refuge in my holy Guru forever. I forever take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I take refuge in all the three vehicles, in the Dakas and Dakinis, the secret mantra yoga, in the heroes and heroines, the gods and goddesses, and in the bodhisattvas of the 10 bhumis, but most of all, I take refuge in my holy Guru forever. So you can equate Vajrasattva with your Guru, if you have one. And if not, you can aspire to one day having a teacher like that. And in the meantime, Vajrasattva can step in as an aspect of the omniscient mind. And he's very, very happy to help us. And visualize right now that light and nectar rays begin to pour forth at his tiny heart from the Hung and the mantra garland. And imagine it radiating out, filling his entire body. And imagine these light nectar rays come out of every pore of his body and begin to descend down through the crown of our head like a radiant waterfall. And the first visualization is it's pouring down, pushing all the negativities, particularly those we've done with our body, down and out through all the lower openings of our body until they're completely gone. And if you'd like, you can imagine a big crack opens up in the earth underneath us, and they go down there, completely swallowed up down there. We're going to recite 3 of each of the mantras. And that's on page 14. So we're going to do 3 of the 4 visualizations, and then we'll have a little time to do on our own. You can try on your own and alternate between the mantra. If you haven't memorized it yet, the visualization, the mantra, you just try your best. Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Dino Padida Dida Me Baba Sutokaya Me Baba Subokaya Me Baba Anuradha Me Baba Sarva Siddhi Me Prayat Sarva Karma Susame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mut Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sat Ahum Pe Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Dino Padida Dido Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Rakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayata Sarva Karma Susame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagav Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mut
Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Sattva Dino Badida Dido Me Bhava Sudokaya Me Bhava Supokaya Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayata Sarva Karma Susame Shriyam Kuru Hom Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tatagat Vajra Me Muts Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sat Ahum Pe. Imagine all those negativities of the body all completely purified. The nectar and light rays continue to descend through our crown. And now it pushes down all the negativities we've done with our speech. And they float all the way back up in our bodies and exit through the upper openings of our body until they're completely gone. Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Dino Badida Dida Me Bhava Sutokaya Me Bhava Supokaya Me Bhava To Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayat Sarva Karma Susame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hom Ha 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 Ho Bhagav Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Me Mut Drabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Sattva Dino Dida Dida Me Bhava Sutokaya Me Bhava Subokaya Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayata Sarva Karma Susame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hom Ha 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 Ho Bhagav Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Me Mut Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Sattva Dino Badida Dido Me Bhava Sutokaya Me Bhava Supokaya Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayata Sarva Karma Susam Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hom Ha 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 Ho Bhagava Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Me Mut Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sat Ahum Pe. Imagine these negativities of speech are purified. Do some people need the light on to read the mantra? Is that, maybe we can just put the light on, sorry. So the nectar and light rays continue to descend through our crown. And now imagine at your heart is a constricted knot of all of your self-cherishing and all the negativities you've done with your mind. And the nectar and light rays descend right there to the heart center, instantly eliminating the constricted knot, purifying all the negativities of mind. It forms again and again, and we continue to purify. Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Dino Badida Dida Me Bhava Sutokaya Me Bhava Supokaya Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayat Sarva Karma Susame Yam Kuru Hom Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Me Mut Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sat Ahum Pe. Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Savadino Padida Dida Meba Sudokaya Mebava Subokaya Meba Anurakta Mebava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayata Sarva Kar Susame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajrama Me Muts Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sat Ahum Pe. Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Padino Padida Dido Me Bhava Sutokaya Me Bhava Supokaya Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayata Sarva Karma Susame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagava Sarva Tata Gata Vajrama Me Muts Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sat Ahum Pe. Imagine these pure impurities of mind are purified. So we can now try to purify the subtle obscurations to omniscience. The nectar and light rays continuing to descend from Vajrasattva's heart through our crown. You could try all three visualizations. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dino Badida Dido Me Bhav Sutokaya Me Bhava Supokaya Me Bhav Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayata Sarva Karma Om Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Tata Gata Vajrama Me Mut Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sat Ahum Pe. Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Dino Padida Dido Me Bhava Sutokaya Me Bhava Supokaya Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Me Prayata Sarva Karma Susame Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Tata Gata Vajrama Me Muts Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vadino Badida Dido Me Bhav Sutokaya Me Bhava Supokaya Me Bhav Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayata Sarva Karma Susam Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhavan Sarva Tata Gat Vajrama Me Mutta Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sa Ahum Pe. So we're going to recite some mantras on our own, and when you recite with a group, you do need to enunciate and recite this mantra clearly from your mouth, but not loud enough to disturb the person next to you. Okay? And you can recite at any pace that you like if you know the mantra well. If not, take your time. You do want to recite it accurately and then try to alternate between the visualization. Oh, we're just You can do any visualization you like as well, or do a variety of them. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manubalaya Vajrasattva Dino Badida Dido Me Bhava Sudokaya Me Bhava Subokaya Me Bhava Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayata Sarva Karma Susam Sitam Shriyam Guru Aho Bhagav Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mut Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sat Ahum Pe. So the fourth opponent power, that was the power of the remedy. And now the fourth opponent power, the power of resolution. So make a resolution or determination to refrain from doing the negativity, again, that you were focusing on, for a realistic time period. By thinking, I will not do this activity from now until. Vajrasattva is extremely pleased with our practice and says, O child of the lineage, all your negativities, all your broken and degenerated vows are now all completely purified. Just feel for a moment, just have faith that you have definitely purified something. And Vajrasattva is very pleased and dissolves into the center of his visualization, into this radiant crystal drop. Imagine it comes to your crown, slowly dissolving into you. And feel the oneness with Vajrasattva's holy body, holy speech, and holy mind. So we're going to turn to the Gold Prayer Book to dedicate some merit from the wonderful practice we've done today. And the other thing with Vajrasattva practice is it's best if you can at least do 7 of each of the visuals, 7 mantras for each of the visualizations. So if you can at least do 21 of the first 3 visualizations, great. A lot of people, a lot of practitioners do that every night. Because whatever you did during the day, you messed up a little bit, we didn't have a direct perception of emptiness, all the things, there's many things, right? So at least you can minimize those negativities from increasing. And if you'd like, you can do 28. If you have tantric vows, it's nice to do 28. That helps to purify some of those other obscurations. So it's just an idea, if you'd like. Okay, well, I turned to this, so I guess we're doing this one. Okay, we did this morning, but this is a beautiful, beautiful prayer from Master Shantideva. Page 246. I hope the printouts have that one as well. I'm not sure what page it's going to be on. It might be at the end of the precepts part in the red books. Page 32. Page 32. It's a prayer that starts with, may all beings everywhere. May all beings everywhere. Sorry, if not, no, some people are looking, if not, just share with somebody if you can't find it. Okay. This is His Holiness's favorite dedication. It's a beautiful prayer. Let's send this out to the universe. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of my merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with a mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. Naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness, and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may they never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, as bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain, to dispel the miseries of the world. Page 235, General Dedication Prayers. Just these 3 verses. I think there should be one in the red book, yeah. What page is that? 235. Okay, so page 235, General Dedication Prayers. Just these 3 verses. Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. May the supreme jewel bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow. May that which has arisen not diminish, but increase more and more. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samantabhadra too realize things as they are, I too dedicate all these merits in the best way, that I may follow their perfect example. The Long Life Prayers, page 244, for His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Lama Zopa Rinpoche. 244? No? There you go. Let's chant this one in the Tibetan phonetics. And Rinpoche says, really think about His Holiness. Like really, sometimes we blah blah and we don't think about what we're saying. Okay, really think about His Holiness. Did some of you just go to see him in New York? Oh, fantastic, yeah? It was an amazing teaching. In a day and a half, it was like, you know, what else do you need, right? It's all there. It's amazing. Gamri ramwe kowe jinkam der pendang dewa malu chongwe ne chenrei zigwang tenzing yato yi sharpe si te baju teng yorjing. For Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplished magnificent prayers honoring the 3 jewels, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. I'd also like to dedicate to all the beings on the planet who are ill and suffering and dying, and may they have a release from their suffering, be peaceful and happy, and if they die, may they immediately take a good rebirth to be of benefit to all. May all the conflicts in the world be pacified instantly. I'd also like to dedicate for some specific people, Eileen Paul, Ed Weiss. Any other people that you'd like, just please say their name out loud. And may we also be able to traverse along a path of full awakening as quickly as possible, because so many beings need our help right now. And may, as a Buddha, may we then be unlimited in helping all others. I wish you a good evening. I hope you sleep well, get some rest. We've worked very hard today. And hope we all wake up tomorrow. Right? You never know. Hope that doesn't happen. A little meditation you can do when you go to bed tonight, because we want to sleep to rest our body and mind. You can think that. So just think, may I sleep well? I want to get rested because I'd like to continue this retreat. I'd like to make more positive imprints in my mind. I'd like to be able to purify more negative ones, so it helps me get enlightened more quickly, so I can be a benefit to other beings, and for the purpose of benefiting others, I'm going to practice the yoga of sleeping. And then you go to sleep. Okay, so it actually creates a little virtuous imprint for sleeping instead of just sleeping, right? So you can always have a little motivation like that, eating, driving your car, whatever it is, working, and then you create a little bit more pocket full of positivity, okay? And if you can, when you wake up in the morning, whether you wake up with an alarm or naturally, maybe just have a few succulent moments in bed, appreciating. You woke up. You're alive as a human in this form at this retreat with an ability to practice Dharma. So a little rejoicing like that, a little appreciation. That you could try that.